From Karura, the main suspect in the alleged recruitment and facilitation of Kenyans to fight in Russia will know whether he will be released on bond or remain behind bars next month. Festus Omwamba, a 31-year-old accused of luring young men with promises of lucrative jobs abroad, appeared before court amid a growing outcry from families who claim their sons were deceived and in some cases lost their lives. As the legal process unfolds, the human cost of the alleged recruitment network continues to emerge, with two more families from Kisii and Mombasa breaking their silence. Crispin Otieno with more.
Festus Omwamba was arraigned in Nairobi as the prosecution and defense battled over his release on bond. Omwamba is a key suspect in an alleged syndicate that facilitated the travel of Kenyan youth to Russia under the pretext of better employment opportunities, only for them to end up in the midst of a foreign war. Appearing before Principal Magistrate Gideon Kiage at the Kahawa Law Courts, the court had submissions from both sides before directing that Omwamba remains in custody. The ruling will determine whether Omwamba walks free on bond or continues to be detained as investigations continue.
So we come back on the 5th of March. In the meantime, the person received all the necessary medical attention that he may need at Kiambu JK prison. Thank you.
Any person who involuntarily recruits persons to act in active combat, as it is guilty of an offense of unlawful conscription, which carries a death sentence, and which carries or a life imprisonment.
What we are handling is what is before the court at this particular moment. Any other story that comes about, we shall handle it at the time it comes.
But even as court process continues, far away from the courtrooms, families are struggling to come to terms with the disappearance and, in some instances, the death of their kin. In satellite Nyamataro, on the outskirts of Kisii town, grief hangs heavy in the home of a 31-year-old Cliff Laden Ndege. Cliff left Kenya hopeful of transforming his life. His family says he was promised a well-paying job in Russia. What they did not know was that the journey would lead him into a war zone. Now, instead of preparing to welcome him home with success stories, the family is pleading with the government to help repatriate his body for a decent burial.
Ameniwacha bila chochote. Ameniacha mikono mitupu. Ameniacha mwanangu mikono mitupu. Lakini tampata wapi mwanangu?
Nimebakia na sida. Hata samba sina, samba imekuwa kidogo. Hata mali watu ameniwachia, mali nitawapeleka sioni. Sasa mimi siku hizi nimeseeka, sina kazi. Hiyo mali ameniwacha kwa sida kubwa.
Their voices, choked with emotion, tell the story of a parent who last spoke to their son, only to receive devastating news. Hundreds of kilometers away, in Bamburi, Mombasa County, another family is living a similar nightmare. 27-year-old Christopher Musumba is reported to have been lured with promises of employment abroad. His family says he believed he was traveling to work as a driver, only to realize upon arrival in Ethiopia that he was being processed for travel to Russia. Shortly after, communication became irregular and then stopped.
Mimi kwanza niliposikia ameenda then ameenda Dubai. Najua kama ni Dubai, that's normal, watu wanaenda Dubai Warabuni and they come back. But now niliposikia kwamba ako Russia.
Ninge hustle tu. Nilikuwa na hustle, mimi najua kushuka. Lakini nataka ati nikuwe na maisha mazuri. Si afadhali nikuwe tu na maisha mbaya na yuko.
Today, his family hold on to faith, appealing to the government to intervene and help bring their son home. For now, all eyes remain on the court, where the main suspect Festus Omwamba waits to know whether he will be released on bond, even as families wait for something far more painful, answers, and for some, the return of their sons. Crispin Otieno, Citizen TV.
Truly heart